Someone texts you about plans this weekend and you feel relief when they cancel first. Not because you don't like them, because the idea of being alone sounds better than any social event possibly could. And when people ask what's wrong with you for preferring your own company, there's actual neuroscience explaining why nothing is wrong. Here's what most people don't understand about genuinely preferring solitude. It's not loneliness. It's not social anxiety. It's not depression disguised as introversion. Your brain literally gets restoration from being alone in ways that other people's brains get from being around people. And for decades, psychologists lumped everyone who enjoyed solitude into one concerning category called antisocial. Like enjoying your own company meant you were one bad day away from becoming a villain origin story. But then, in 2016, researchers at the University of Buffalo asked a question nobody had really asked before. What if some people just prefer being alone? Not because they're scared of others or damaged or hiding, but because solitude actually makes them feel good. They called it unsociability, not antisocial, which is active hostility toward people, not avoidant, which is fear-based. Unsociability, the calm, confident preference for your own company. And when they studied these people, plot twist, they were doing better than the people forcing themselves to be social. Let's talk about what's happening in your brain when you genuinely enjoy being alone. Your dopamine system works differently. Extroverts get massive dopamine hits from social interaction. The laughs, the energy exchange, the buzz of being around people. But people who prefer solitude have more sensitive dopamine systems. You reach optimal stimulation faster. Think of it like spice tolerance. An extrovert needs the whole jalapeno to feel anything. You? One flake of red pepper and you're good for the day. 20 minutes of social time gives you what extroverts need 2 hours to get. I realized this about myself when I started tracking something I call social energy accounting. I'd go to a party, spend 2 hours there, and need 3 days alone to recover. And I kept thinking something was wrong with me because everyone else seemed fine the next day, ready for brunch, ready for more. What? Yeah. I was treating my nervous system like it had the same capacity as everyone else's, when it literally doesn't. I'm not antisocial. I'm just running different software. But here's where it gets really interesting. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for deep thinking and complex problem solving, shows heightened activity during alone time. You're not just sitting there staring at walls doing nothing. Your brain is throwing an entire party of introspection, creativity, and mental processing. And research on breakthrough ideas consistently shows they rarely happen in brainstorming sessions or crowded coffee shops. They happen in the shower, on solo, walks, at 2 a.m. when you're the only one awake. Einstein did his best work alone. So did Newton. Virginia Woolf literally wrote an essay called A Room of One's Own about needing solitude to create. Maya Angelou rented hotel rooms just to write even though she had a perfectly good house. These weren't antisocial people. They were people who understood their brains worked better in solitude. Now, here's where I need to be real, because there's a critical distinction. Do you choose solitude, or are you hiding in it? Some people aren't embracing solitude. They're using it as armor, as protection against rejection, judgment, or the vulnerability that comes with connection. And that's where we have to be honest with ourselves. Psychologist Abraham Maslow said, "Healthy solitude comes from abundance, not scarcity." You enjoy being alone because you've had meaningful connections and you know you can have them again. You're not running from people. You're running toward yourself. The question isn't, do you like being alone? The question is why. If your answer involves words like recharge, create, think, process, you're probably in healthy unsociability territory. If your answer involves words like safer, easier, less painful, that might be avoidance worth exploring. Not wrong, not broken, just different, and maybe worth understanding better. But for people who genuinely thrive in solitude, here's what they've figured out. Being alone isn't the same as being incomplete. Think about how we talk about relationships. My other half, my better half. You complete me. We've built this narrative that humans are broken Lego pieces desperately searching for a matching brick. But people who enjoy solitude have looked at that narrative and said, actually, I'm a whole set already. And this isn't arrogance. it's self-awareness. Research from Dr. Bella DiPaolo at UC Santa Barbara found that single people who embrace solitude often have stronger connections with friends and family than coupled people, because they're not trying to get all their needs met by one person. They're not clinging. They're choosing. The quality of your alone time directly impacts the quality of your social time. When you're recharged from solitude, you show up better in relationships. You're not depleted. You're not resentful. You're bringing your whole self because you spent time at your own table first. And here's something wild. In Japan, there's a word for this: hitori. Alone time. And it's not just accepted, it's celebrated. Restaurants with solo seating booths. Movie theaters with single seats. Entire cultural practices built around the idea that sometimes you need to exist with yourself. Meanwhile, in the West, we're still asking people, why are you eating alone, like it's a confession at a support group? So if you're someone who genuinely loves being alone, here's your permission. You're not weird. Your brain is wired to find restoration in solitude. And in an age of constant connectivity where everyone's expected to respond immediately and always be available, the ability to genuinely enjoy your own company might be the most countercultural thing you can do. But make sure you're choosing solitude, not hiding in it. Check in honestly. Can you connect when you want to? Do you have people you trust? Because the healthiest relationship with being alone is one where it's a choice, not a defense. If you're someone who'd rather stay home than go to that party, and you're tired of explaining why, hit subscribe, because this whole channel is psychology for people whose brains don't work the way everyone expects them to. We break down why you're wired differently and give you permission to stop apologizing for needing what you need. Here at Cyclipsis, we don't just talk about psychology. We make it make sense for people who've always felt slightly out of sync with social expectations. Next week, we're breaking down why some people physically cannot do small talk and what that reveals about how their brain processes social information. Your quiet evening at home is waiting, and you're allowed to choose it without guilt. You've got this.